All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I'm Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to do our Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner update special edition. This is a year-end edition. Finally, the year 2022 is over. I know most of us are glad to see it go from an investment standpoint, but I want to go through Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners and kind of talk about what happened this year because I think there's some important takeaways to bring into the year 2023. So if you're new to the channel, we talk about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners all the time. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, if you want to become a member, you can join the channel by hitting the join button, which is right next to the subscribe button on the YouTube page. So members get some members only content. We do a once a week members only live stream. Also on that live stream, members get to pick a company for me to do a deep dive video on. So we'd love to have you there. We have a lot of fun. Let's talk about the year 2022. 2022 was a very difficult year, particularly for Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. Now, I will talk about some other industries and some of my other watch lists in future videos because this is not the only industry that got absolutely decimated in 2022, but I think that is a fair assessment. Total decimation, I think, would best describe what happened to the Bitcoin miners in particular, and I'm going to show you some numbers that support that. You'll be hard-pressed to find an industry that had a year this bad anywhere over the last 20 or 30 or 40 years. What happened to the Bitcoin miners rivals or maybe worse than what happened to the tech stocks in the tech bubble 22 years ago, back in 2000. So just quickly, I'm going to bring up the big board and just go down the list because some of these stocks were over $80 at some point in the last 12 or 13 months. So if I go down the list right now, Bitfarms at 44 cents, you're going to see 85, $1.44. Cleanspark's at 204, Riot's at 339, Marathon's at 342. So those three companies are the only Bitcoin miners that are over the $1.99 mark. So they're the only ones that don't start with a 1 or a 0. You'll see Core Scientific is down to 7 cents. That was an $11 stock this year. GREE is 28 cents. So if you look down the whole list, the vast majority of this list is now measured in pennies. These are now no longer even microcap companies. They are now nano-cap companies. Some of these are on the verge of extinction. And I expect that a lot of them will not make it. However, I do think more of these companies are going to survive than people think. Okay, so this chart pretty much says it all. This is from their opening price of the year in 2022 to their closing price of the year in 2022. Every single one of them got decimated, some of them worse than others. And there are levels here, so I want to go through that. So the first thing you're going to see is in gold, you're going to see Bitcoin. Bitcoin is down 64% in the course of the year 2022. It's down more than that from its highs of 2021. I believe it's down around 75% from top to bottom. But just from January 1st to December 31st, Bitcoin itself was down 64%. So you can see the Bitcoin miners basically act as leveraged plays on Bitcoin. So every single Bitcoin miner performed worse than that. A lot of them performed a lot worse than that. So I want to start at the bottom of the list because there's a few that just got basically taken out very nearly to zero. Core Scientific's down 99% just in the year 2022. GREE is down 98% in the year 2022. Mawson, stock ticker MIGI, down 97%. Stronghold, stock ticker SDIG, down 96%. And Wolf, TeraWolf, is down 96% as well. So those 5 companies in specific are now basically nano-cap companies. They really got hit hard this year. But even if you go beyond that, DigiHost is down 92%. Bitfarms is down 91%. As you guys know, I actually, that's one of my larger positions. So I have held with it and dollar cost averaged in. This is not financial advice, of course, I have to tell you. You guys need to do your own due diligence. And all you need to do is look at this list right here to know just how volatile these stocks are. I mean, you're looking at a list of stocks down in the 80s, 90s, some as much as 99%. So please be careful while investing in the Bitcoin miners. So you'll see a lot of these here in the 89 to 90 or 91% range. That seemed to be like the median. Hive was down 89%, Hut was down 89%, Marathon was down 90%, Bit Digital was down 90%, Argo Blockchain was down 91%. But I just want to show you one thing because Argo Blockchain made a massive comeback over the last week to get up to the point where it was only down 91% on the year. This is Argo Blockchain chart for the last week. This stock's up like 180% in the last week's worth of trading days. So one of those days, they did not trade. They halted trading for 24 hours in anticipation of an announcement that was going to come out. I think the vast majority of people felt like this was probably not going to be good news. It usually isn't. However, they did get restructuring, got a massive cash infusion, and, they had a bit of a recovery, but really, this 180% to the upside, it just gets them back to where they were on October 31st. So, and they were already down effectively over 90% at that point. Okay, so let's talk about some of the better performers. CleanSpark was actually the best performing Bitcoin miner in the year 2022. It was down 79%. So that does not sound like good performance, but versus the rest of the group, it's performed significantly better than the average Bitcoin miner in this group. They really added a lot of exahash, but they did not do so in a massively aggressive way, which put them at risk potentially of running out of liquidity. So next was DMG. This is a nano cap stock, so I'm hesitant to talk too much about it, but they had a pretty rock solid year of performance as well. So they were also down 79%. And then you'll see in third place was Riot. They were down 85%, which sounds awful, but really that was much better than most of their competitors. And they're another one who had major growth. They found a way to continue to grow their exahash all year long, and they maintained very strong liquidity. They have a very strong balance sheet and massive growth this year. So, some of these top performers, there was a reason they performed better than the rest of the stocks. Now, the question is down 79% and 85% and 90%. Are these stocks oversold? So obviously, that's where your due diligence comes in. Are there some bargains in here? Because you can see across the board, these are down between 79% and 99% on the year. So somewhere in there, I believe there's 3 or 4 bargains and 3 or 4 more worth looking at past that. And again, I will put that list out tomorrow in a video, but this is what happened in 2022. I want to look at this another way really quickly. If you look at this, this is the data that underneath that chart. So all of the Bitcoin miners put together, their market cap at December 31st, 2022 was just over $2 billion. So that is down massively. All of these put together at $2 billion would not be one of the top 1,000 companies traded publicly in the United States. So the market cap has been absolutely taken out of this industry. So I want to show you a few things to put it in perspective. Marathon at their peak, which was on November 8th, 2021, just Marathon alone was a $7.5 billion company. Now all 18 of these companies all added up put together are only $2 billion. Riot at its peak on February 15th, 2021 was a $5.9 billion company. So again, that's almost triple. Just Riot was almost triple the market cap of all 18 of the Bitcoin miners added up together right now. Core Scientific in February of 22, so that was this year, was over $3 billion market cap. So substantially bigger than all these put together. Cypher on September of 2021 was worth $2.95 billion. So, that's 50% more than all of these put together right now. And then HUT was worth approximately the same. HUT on November 8th, 2021. So that was the peak of Bitcoin. That's when Bitcoin was at its all-time high. HUT had a market cap of over $2 billion, $2 billion and $50 million. That is just a little bit larger than all 18 of these companies added up put together right now. So I think that's worth noting. And there were 6 or 7 more that were over $1 billion market cap on their own at some time over the last 12 to 13 months. This is where I believe there's long-term opportunity. So if you believe that Bitcoin ultimately is going to succeed, and obviously that is a core principle. If you don't believe that Bitcoin is going to succeed over time, then investing in Bitcoin and particularly investing in the Bitcoin miners, which are a leveraged play on Bitcoin, would not be the place for you to be. But if you do think that whatever the window is, whether it takes a year or 2 years or 3 years or 5 years, if Bitcoin were to get healthy, get back to or past its all-time high, I believe these companies in total could have a market cap of easily 20 billion. They were higher than that at one point in the past. So that would be a 10x on the average for all of these companies. Now, it's not going to happen like that in all likelihood. Some of these companies may go to zero and go away. Others may 5x, others may 15x or 20x or more. We've seen this activity in the past. So this is not unprecedented. This is how the Bitcoin mining industry stocks have worked over the years. This is a feast or famine. This takes bull markets and bear markets to the extreme. The volatility in cryptocurrency, in Bitcoin in specific, and then obviously even more so in the Bitcoin miners, makes these massive swings. I mean, it's very rare you see stocks down 98%, 99%. Even a stock down 90%, it has to 10x just to get back to where it was. So this is where your due diligence comes in. If you think there's a company that's going to survive and ultimately thrive in a 2 or 3 or 5 year period or 10-year period, whatever your time frame is, this is where you need to know your own risk tolerance and your own own patience level and your investment time frame. Because as you guys know, I am still a Bitcoin bull. I am bullish on Bitcoin in the long term. In the short term, it's always very, very hard to predict. 2022 did not go as I expected. I did not think we were going to have an entire 12 months of just downward pressure in Bitcoin, but that's what happened. So we're going to have to see what 2023 brings. But I do believe in the long term, there are too many catalysts left that are positive catalysts for Bitcoin and therefore the Bitcoin miners. So I think this is an industry that in some way will survive. So of these 18 companies, I don't know, maybe 6 of them survive, maybe 10 of them survive, maybe 3 of them survive. Time will be yet to tell, but those that do survive, I think will have a much, much bigger market cap than the $2 billion that all 18 of these have added up put together. So that's my bullish thesis long-term on Bitcoin. So again, not financial advice, but that's just my personal opinion. This is the Bitcoin one-day time frame chart. This was this year's activity in Bitcoin. So you can see we had downward pressure all year. We were already off of our highs. Bitcoin hit a high of 69,000 in November. Coming into the year, it was at more like 46,000. We're now down to under 17,000. So this is a fairly dramatic pullback. But what I wanted to note is, and this is what I'm bearing in mind for 2023. When you look at 2022, which was an awful year in every way measurable for the Bitcoin miners, from the end of February to the end of March 2022, Bitcoin ran up over 40%. So in that time frame, because these are leveraged plays, the vast majority of the Bitcoin miners ran up more than 100%, a lot of them more than 150%, some of them ran up more than 200% just in that 1 month period of time. We did have one more relief rally in the year that was also a little bit over 40%, and that ended around the middle of August. So again, all the Bitcoin miners had gigantic run-ups in that time. So I'm more of a buy and hold person, so I have held most of my shares, but I have traded, swing traded options throughout the year to try to capitalize on some of these relief rallies, because these are not small rallies. If your Bitcoin stock's up 100 or 150 or 200% in a short period of time, there's a lot of money to be made on swing trades and on options. Now, I'm not recommending that. This is not financial advice, and if you don't know about options, please learn before you start to try. They're much more dangerous than just buying and owning the stock. We'll have to wait and see what 2023 brings. Obviously, we hope for better times, but at a bare minimum, I'm going to be keeping my eye out for relief rallies. I know I was calling for a relief rally the entire fourth quarter of 2022. We had 2 already in the year. I thought we would get one more, and we did not get one more. I think the FTX situation blew up in November, and it was just straight downhill from there. So happy New Year to everybody. I'm looking forward to a great 2023. Thanks so much for sticking with the channel in 2022. If you're new, hopefully you'll take our journey along with us in 2023. So everybody have fun, be safe, and we'll see you in the next video.